Okay, year 12, this is your work for your double lesson on, what's the date tomorrow? The 25th of June. So you've got periods 4 and periods 5 with me tomorrow. And it's also your work for period 9 on Monday if you don't finish it off in the 2 hours tomorrow, okay? Some of it is recap work. I'm going to go over a couple of things that I really want you to make sure you've done before you start doing the new work, okay? But then obviously you need to make sure you finish the new work as well. Those of you that are a little bit behind might have more than 2 hours work here, okay, because I need you to catch up on stuff you should have done. So, job number 1, go and find your student learning record, okay, from SLR 4, from the lockdown tab. This is on the Unit 7 lockdown tab, okay, so if I go into Unit 7, okay, this is the one I'm looking at. You can see it's got all the stuff about stacks and queues and trees and all that malarkey down here, okay. I want you to copy that file, save it somewhere and get it uploaded into Teams, into the assignment that you should have had an email about. I can see that 2 people have managed to do that successfully. And it looks like it's a really good way for me to mark them. So actually I'm quite keen to get all of you to get them up there so that I can give you some feedback on these. So that's job number 1. Job number 2, okay, will be to go and have a look at your programming tab and to have a look at your NEA. Okay, I'm in a test student at the moment, so none of this work is completed, obviously. So you hopefully have read through the introduction and had a look at some of these links. You've got some project ideas from the previous project playlist that I asked you to look at. You've had a read of the mark scheme and seen that it's very similar to the lockdown assessment that you did. And you've read through the information about starting the project. Okay, so under ideas generation, I'm expecting you to have written down at least 10 things, okay, in here, and then for each of those think of potential problems that might be solved in that kind of area, okay. That should already be done. Task 3 is to come back a day later and check, add anything else you can think of, and then task 4 is to wait 2 days and then pick your favourite 10. So what I want you to do is at the start of today's lesson, I want you to add anything else you have thought of over the last couple of days. You might have thought of some new ideas, get those scribbled down. Okay, and then at the end of today's lesson, or maybe on Monday, you're going to come back and you're going to do number 3, and you are going to number 4 even, and you're going to pick your favourite 10. Now I don't mind how you do that. You can list your favourite 10 in here, okay, or you can highlight them in green or something like that to show me which are the ones you're thinking about. But I do want you to indicate that for me so that when I come and look at this page, I can actually see what your thought process was getting to this point, okay. We'll move on to numbers 5, 6 and so on over the course of next week, and hopefully by the end of next week we will have something that you can start developing into a bit more of a project idea for me. Okay, so that's your next job, number 2, ideas generation task on here. If you haven't done any of the things that build you up to that point, obviously you're going to need to catch them up. You're not just going to be able to do that without having done the reading of the pages. Okay, right, then the actual work for the lesson. Okay, in Unit 7, okay, I know that there are still some people that haven't done the dirt work on these activities here. Okay, so I will send you a link in the email that I'm going to send you with a link to this in it, that has got a link to the playlist for all of the Unit 7 dirt task things. Now the ones towards the end we will have spoken about in your mentoring meeting, okay, so the ones down here we would have spoken about in your mentoring meeting. I haven't done videos for those. You've had a little bit of feedback. We'll do a bit more work on them when we get back to school, okay. There were a few of you who I asked during your mentoring meeting to go away and have a look at another question, well, a couple of the questions, just because they hadn't been done exactly correctly. If you've revised those, if you've managed to go back and you've had another look, could you let me know by email and I will check your answers for you. And then obviously if there's anything else we need to do with that we can do, but hopefully that will be the end of this Unit 7 stuff. Unit 8, okay, you should today, okay, have done the breadth first and depth first searching activities. So there is a dirt video for you to check your answers on for each of those 3 tasks. Okay, if you haven't done those tasks yet, please get them done before you do anything else. And please make sure you have put a print screen or a printout of the activity onto these pages so that I can see where you've done it. And then if you can mark it on this, that would be really helpful so that I can see that it has been marked on here as well. Okay. Your next job is to have a look at the tree traversal notes page. You might have already done this in Unit 7. It was the second video further down the page. Now, I know some people, when I did your mentoring, didn't see that there was a second video. That's fine. You can do it now. Okay. But if you've already done it, then you've got some options. So if you've already done it and you remember it really clearly, then copy and paste your notes so that you've got them in here as well. If you've already done it but you've totally forgotten, just like today, I want you to redo the notes and spend a couple of minutes comparing them once you're done, so that you can see what the difference is between them. And if you haven't watched this video yet, then do it now. That's your job to do now. Okay. Once you've done that, there are 3 activities for you to have a go at in terms of traversal of trees. And remember, we've got pre-order, in-order and post-order. And we have talked about this a little bit, because if you remember, I said to you that we will be doing reverse Polish notation in a future unit. And this unit is the unit where we are going to look at reverse Polish notation, but not yet. Okay, so hopefully you remember that. All right, if you don't, then I think I did a little video that talks about it further back, so that will be in the Unit 7 playlist somewhere. So that is probably those 3 activities there. 40 minutes work, maybe 1 lesson. This should all be taking you, if you are up to date, I would imagine this will take you to the end of the first period, period 4 on Thursday. Okay. There are then some other recap bits. I know we're going back over some stuff, but we need to get this really clear before we can build on it. Okay, so you've got a linear search video to watch. Okay, and a linear search, remember, is where you look at each item in turn, and it's really good for when you've got an unsorted list. Okay, and we want you to implement a linear search. So I've given you some pseudocode, and in a language of your choice, it doesn't matter what language you choose. I want you to implement a linear search. Okay, I know some of us were talking about maybe using C and things like that for our projects. If you want to do it in C, that's totally fine. Okay, whatever language you are currently working and programming and thinking in, I'm happy to mark this in. Okay, again, we've got the same for a binary search. Okay, so binary search, remember, is where you're cutting it in half each time. So you look at the midpoint, and then you look at the top or the bottom half of the list. Okay, this is GCSE stuff, we know it. All right, and I want you to implement a binary search as well. Okay, probably those 2 tasks there are going to take you the second lesson. Okay, it might take you a little bit longer depending on what language you're using, but I'm not expecting you know, lots of in-depth stuff on that. I just want you to get the algorithm working. Then the last little task that I want you to do, okay, is to do this binary search tree trace table. All right, so it is important that you can trace a search through. Okay, and if I just open that up while I'm talking, then what you will see is a binary tree over here, a bit of code that we want you to trace. Okay, and down here you need to fill in the trace table. Okay, you've obviously got the array implementation here of the binary tree, and the visual representation of it up here as well. Okay, so if you can have a go at that, all right, I will obviously talk it through with you once you've had a go. Okay, and you can see if what you've got matches what the answers are, obviously. All right, good luck with that, gents. All right, remember you've got Monday's lesson as well to finish all of that off. Okay, so this is your work for Thursday the 25th of June, periods 4 and 5. But also you've got Monday's period 9 where you can catch up any of this that you haven't done. Those of you who are running a little bit behind, I know some of us are, please do your best to get caught up so that you're at the same place as everybody else. That would be really helpful. All right, thank you.